I remember the exact moment the world cracked open for me. It was the morning of my son's wedding, and I woke to a chill that wasn't just from the Seattle rain tapping against the windows. A note fluttered on my bedside table, scrawled in elegant script. Finally, a style that suits your ears. Break a leg at my big day. A lipstick kiss sealed it, reeking of that cloying jasmine perfume I'd come to associate with my soon-to-be daughter-in-law Victoria. I reached up, and my fingers met stubble my once lush auburn waves. The ones I'd nurtured like a crown through boardrooms and breakdowns, buzzed down to nothing. The air stung my raw scalp, laced with the bite of cheap dye that had turned the remnants a garish orange. I didn't cry out. Instead, I crossed to the hallway mirror in our old craftsman home. The one with the etched glass my late husband picked out decades ago. The face staring back, not Eleanor Hayes, the developer who'd clawed her way from blueprints to skyline-defining towers in this rainy city. No, it was a raw, exposed shell of a woman. Humiliated on the day I was meant to shine as the mother of the groom. But here's the thing. They thought that would break me. Victoria, with her sharp smiles and sharper ambitions. They wanted me small, sidelined, vanishing into the backdrop of their perfect life. I steadied my breath, the kind you take before sealing a multi-million-dollar deal, and headed to the study. The safe hummed open under my touch, revealing the folder I'd slaved over for weeks. Documents to wire. $18 million straight into Ethan and Victoria's accounts. My life's work poured into high-rises that pierced the Puget Sound fog, all to tether my boy to me a little longer. My fingers hovered, then withdrew. That money, it stayed locked away. I dialed Harlan Voss, our family lawyer, since Ethan's first scraped knee. He answered on the first ring, his gravelly voice warm as ever. Eleanor, all set for the transfer. Papers are primed. Not anymore, Harlan, I said, my tone even as steel. Freeze it. And tonight, after the toasts, come over. We're gutting the will from the ground up. A beat of silence, then, everything all right. I glanced at my reflection again, the buzzed stranger with fire in her eyes. Oh, it's crystal clear now. I hung up and moved to the closet, pulling out a charcoal silk gown, the one I'd splurged on after landing the waterfront condo project that redefined Elliott Bay. It draped like resolve over my shaking frame. The landline buzzed. I snatched it up. Maria, my stylist for 25 years, her voice a lifeline. Eleanor, you sound ... off. I swallowed hard. Maria, bring your miracle kit, the best cap I own. Discretion's key. She didn't probe. 15 minutes. While the clock ticked, I sank into the velvet chair by the French doors, watching the evergreens bend under a fresh drizzle. Memories flooded in like the tide. Widowed at 34. Clutching 14-year-old Ethan as we buried Jack after his car spun out on I-5. I'd vowed then no fear. No want for my boy. I'd risen before dawn, pounding pavement for freelance drafting gigs, evenings devouring zoning codes by lamplight, from a single fixer-upper flip to office parks. Then those gleaming towers hugging the sound of rebeam bore my grit, my ghosts. And now, it teetered on the edge of slipping to a woman who eyed me like yesterday's news. Maria arrived with a sleek case, her gasp muffled as she saw the damage. Eleanor, I waved it off with a wry smile. No pity party. Just armor me up. I need to face the world unbroken. It took 40 minutes of pins and prayers. But when she unveiled the mirror, there I was, poised, chestnut waves cascading just so, the Eleanor who'd stared down city councils without flinching. I pressed an envelope into her palm, generous, unspoken thanks, and saw her out. Alone, I slipped a palm-sized recorder into my clutch. Gut said I'd need proof today. Hearts like mine don't win on whispers alone. By 11 a.m. 2 hours till the vows at Grace Episcopal Seattle's stone-hewn jewel with its fog-kissed spires. I shrugged on a wool blend coat, the one Ethan gifted me ages back. It pinched now, a relic of softer days. Kid, I murmured to the empty room, you underestimated the woman who raised you. The driver waited curbside. I slid in, silencing his concerned glance with a nod. Rain-smeared streets, blurred families hustling under umbrellas. And I pondered how many carried knives from the hands they trusted most. Today, I fought not just for me, but for every parent bartered down to collateral. The car idled at the church steps. I pressed a palm to my chest. Calm, not quake, strength, the kind forged in loss. Surged up, I stepped out, scarf fluttering, and curved my lips into a private smile. For Eleanor Hayes, reborn in betrayal's blaze, settling into the oak pews. Sunlight fractured through rose windows, painting the nave in crimson and sapphire. As florists fussed with evergreens and ivory lilies, my mind wandered to the forge of it all. Jack's crash at 36 mid-commute. Gone in a skid of black ice. I'd stood numb in the ER, Ethan tugging my sleeve. "Mommy, when's Daddy coming home?" No words came, just arms around my breaking boy. That night, in our drafty Queen Anne rental, I rocked him through sobs, vowing silently, security, always. Dawn broke. I traded pearls for a hard hat, diving into Seattle's cutthroat builds. No nest egg, just nerve library stacks on permits. Cold calls till my throat rawed. Rejections stung like nettle. I'd skip lunches to fund Ethan's soccer cleats. Smiling through his whys, "Your plate empty, Mom." Lies became lifelines. 5 years in, I closed on my first townhouse, reno, pen trembling like a leaf. From there, it snowballed. Brownstones, then retail strips. Finally, those Soundview monoliths. Ethan. He glimpsed the wind's braces, paid, prom limo, gleaming never the trenches. At 19, college cap in hand, his grin screamed triumph. Mine hid the entitlement brewing. By 27, it spilled. Mom loft downtown. "You'll spot the deposit." Checks flowed, unquestioned. At 32, Victoria entered, all gloss and globe-trotting tales, but her gaze on me, appraising, Arctic. Dinners devolved to Barb's. "Eleanor, that shade washes you out, try bolder." Ethan chuckled, echoed to her lead. I swallowed Barb's, fearing the fracture, piling on gifts like $18 million. My Hail Mary to bind us, thought, but that buzzed scalp. It stripped the scales, fingering the cap's seam. I inhaled the incense haze. Shiny triumphs masked inner gashes from those I cherished most. One truth loomed: cling to their script, or rewrite mine. I lingered in the pew hymn book, cool in my lap, till voices pulled me to the transept. Heels echoed. I meant for fresh air, but halted at Ethan's murmur, urgent into his phone. I melted behind a fluted pillar, pulse thundering. "Lauren, stay away till it's done." I said, "Wait." Lauren Pierce, his bright-eyed exec assistant, all efficiency and easy laughs. Pieces clicked, taut his whisper sliced. "Once Mom forks over the cash, we're golden. No more shadows, no dodging. Hold tight, Lauren. The $18 million my empire's yield now bait for Ethan's escape hatch with her. Ditching Victoria hours before eternity." My hymn book slipped, knuckles whitened. He pressed. "You know Mum bends over backward, scared I'll slip." She signs post-ceremony. "We're free, clean slate, no baggage." Footfalls neared. He hushed. "Gotta go. Post-honeymoon, it's ours. Trust me." Click. I retreated to a side altar, fussing with a poinset. Staff bustled past. Ethan emerged, smoothing his vest, strain flickering before the groom's glow snapped on. I resumed my seat, recorder's light winking in my clutch's deceit. Captured crisp. Ache bloomed, but resolve armored it. No more illusions of viable bonds. This, my shield against their snare. Breath evened to the organ's swell. Folks saw the doting matriarch. I harbored the pivot from wound to war. The quiet Nord, a sixth sense, whispering Victoria's hands weren't clean. Her disdain, a veneer over venom. Craving her unmasked, I glided to the vestry wing. Marble gleaming under recessed lights. The door ajar spilled giggles and pop beats. I hovered, pulse, a drum. Victoria's lilt cut through, triumphant hours from now. The pots, mine $18 mill, and legally, I snagged the lion's share. Ethan's clueless. Cackles erupted. I gripped the jam, frost in my veins. She dipped low, laced with venom. Then, divorce papers fly. Lawyers primed. No lifetime sentence with him fresh start. Plush and unbound. A bridesmaid tittered, and the dragon lady, she's ... intense, thinks she owns the empire. Victoria iced over, easy fix, post payout. I nudge Ethan to warehouse her in some swank-assisted spot. Out of sight, out of power, company home hers, no more. Laughter lanced me, shrill as gulls. Tremors hit, not terror fury, primal, cauterizing dawn's frailty. Record a word on, devouring it all. I backed away, chest heaving but gate sure. One more instant, and I'd storm in, unleashing. But wisdom whispered, wars win on wits, not wrath. Back in the sanctuary, guests trickled in, oblivious. I wove smiles, burying the blaze. In a window's gleam, my capped silhouette stared back, fierce, unbowed. They'd plotted my exile. Ethan, his bolt, both pegged me frail. Their scorn, my forge. That morning's shame morphed to fulcrum, from stubble and sneer to dual daggers of proof. I'd bide till the stars aligned, bells tolled, velvet ropes parting, guests hushed. I claimed the front row, clutch a talisman, doors swung, Victoria materialized in ivory chiffon veil, a cascade, arm linked to her dad. Sighs rippled, flashes bloomed, she floated, Cinderella incarnate. I clocked the artifice, her bridal room bile replaying. Ethan stood altar-bound, a charcoal suit, razor-sharp grin practiced, but his phone plea echoed, once mom forks over, The toddler who'd clutched my skirt vanished here, a stranger vending vows for vice. The officiant intoned, words soaring to vaulted beams, sacred covenant, mockery to me. Attendees dabbed eyes, convinced of bliss. I knew the sham. Vows dawned. Ethan faced her, velvet. I vow to cherish, honor, weather storms at your side. Eternal. Bile rose, fidelity pledged. Yet Lauren loomed, unity sworn, escape plotted. Victoria's turn, gaze luminous. I pledge my heart, my strength, our tomorrows woven tight. I stifled a scoff, poetry veiling divorce and warehouse. When the query came, objections, temptation surged to rise, roar the rot, fists balled. I held. Timing was my ally, this throng my jury. Bells pealed, man and wife. Their kiss ignited cheers. I applauded measured, masking the mirage. Out they processed two strings. I trailed eyes on tool and tails. Perfection amplified their plummet. Clutch, secure. I envisioned exposures. Ethan's pallor, Victoria's unraveled. Serenity settled, odd and ironclad. The reception hall sprawled in the adjacent hall. Crystal dripped from ceilings. Evergreens twined banisters. Champagne fizzed like secrets. Laughter swirled. I navigated, facade flawless. Within, a tempest coiled, primed for release. At the head table, golden pools bathed Ethan and Victoria, entwined, beaming. Heartstrings tugged onlookers. To me, varnish over void. I inhaled deep. Savor the spotlight. Curtains, mine next. Strings hushed. Chatter ebbed. Spotlights warmed the dais. The MC beamed. Now, Eleanor Hayes, mother of the groom, with words for this joyous union. Gazes swiveled. My pulse hitched, then held. Rising, flute in hand, I embodied maternal grace while thunder brewed. Thank you all for sharing this milestone. I began, voice honeyed, seeing Ethan embark on forever. It's my quiet joy. Claps bloomed. I sipped, paused, glass chiming soft. Tone dipped, intimate. For 35 years, I've anchored to one oath. Jack gone too soon. I swore Ethan would know abundance, not Ike the shield I craved as a girl. Murmurs of empathy. Elders leaned in, eyes kind. And so, my gift today, $18 million, forged from dawn patrols and deal-clinching nights, to launch their horizon. Stirs erupted our whispers, sharp intakes. Ethan gripped Victoria's fingers, jaw taut under joy. Her eyes sparked, availed. I lifted chin, timbre shifting to tempered glass. Yet wisdom whispers not all offerings land on grateful ground. Air thickened, brows furrowed. Ethan my palm stayed him. From clutch emerged the recorder, crimson beacon. Before I seal it, truths deserve air. Play. Ethan's tambour flooded. Once mom wires the cash, we're set. No more lurking. Hang on. Jaws slackened. He paled, surging. Mom. Twist of words. I locked eyes, unyielding. Twist. Whose voice? Ethan. Whose scheme? Buzz ignited. Victoria's stare darted. Smile fracturing. No reprieve. Next clip. Mom's. A soft touch frets. I'll falter. She inks today. We're unbound. Fresh air. Zero ties. Hive hummed. Ethan floundered. Hyperbole. Lighten up. I pierced. Betraying your bride. A quip. Me. An ATM. Speak plain. He wilted. Brow slick. Victoria clutched air. He recoiled. Pivot to her. Victoria. Your turn. In the light. Note aloft, a scrawled taunt. Orange stubble's culprit. Shaving my head to sideline me. Petty sabotage. She bolted up. Scarlet. Fabrication. Your slandering cool curve. Slandering, or echoing your vestry gloat split in months. Half the whole yours. Nursing home for the nuisance. Petrification gripped the room. Phones gleamed, capturing. Her pallor ghosted. Mouth agape. Pause. Stretched. Taut. Glass raised. Thus, the gift dissolves. Not a dime for deceit woven in my name's shadow. Uproar crashed. Ethan slumped, shielding face. Victoria quaked, statuesque, final, resonant, truest, nuptial boon. Unveiling avarice's husk, glass clink, I withdrew. Scrapes, gasps, trailed unreal, but my stride sang liberation. No more mirror's wraith, I was the unmasker. Reins reclaimed, the board, reset on my terms. Lobby's echo chamber swallowed chaos as I neared the archway. Footfalls pounded. Ethan seized my elbow. Groom's gloss shattered, eyes wild, tie askew. Mom, halt. Misread, swear it. I disengaged, gaze glacial, deaf to more fictions. Son, stutter, just, probing her loyalty. Never real, I volleyed. Lobby booming, loyalty probed by plunder. I built worlds for youth, this your ledger. He stalled, features crumpling rage to ruin. Then, knees buckled. Whisper, I botched it all. No reply. Victoria erupted then, gown snarling her charge. Cosmetics rivers, lies. You torched my day. Onlookers spilled out. I stood sentinel. Torched, I kindled gratitude for the glimpse of your core. She clawed for the note. A silver-haired uncle restrained. Enough, Victoria. The tape damns. You own it. She crumpled. Wales mascara streaked, poised, pulverized. Her folks framed the threshold. Ashendad's nod defeated. Mom's shake a dirge. Ethan rounded on her. Gaunt. You schemed to her gasp. Only for us better prospects drowned in murmurs. Heads wagging. Exits hastened. I surveyed the wreckage, pity-tinged wrath. But peace crested. Truth aired. Fetters frayed. Steps resumed. Ethan's plea chased. Mom, don't forsake mercy. One shot. I'll mend. I paused. Profile to him. Dampness tracing my cheek. Chances, your cradle to now. Choice is yours. Harvest them. Unseen. I pressed on. His keens fading. Valets idled under awnings. Blooms wilting in the mist. Festivities fizzled. Air acrid as regret. Clara, my bridge club confidant, caught my arm. Eleanor, bold stroke. They earned the glare. Mute nod. Into the sedan. Window framing the tableau thin adrift. Victoria railing at phantoms. Eyes shut. Squalls genesis. Tremors to trail. Beggars or bruisers. Inbound. Eyed armored. Dawn next filtered pale through lace. No revelry's roar. No Etham's wheedles. Just hush and resolve. Honed keen. Coffee steeped in my chipped enamel pot. Steam curling like resolve. At the oak table, I unearthed a ledger. Slashing red through Ethan's allotments. Sacrifices recast. Funds weren't filial glue. Misplaced. They forged fangs. I'd birthed Alina, not Alida. Awakening. Urgent Harlan's line rang clear. Eleanor, post-festive haze. I figured. Crook of smile. Haze cleared. Harlan, meet today will overhaul. Transfers torched. Pronto. Pause. Then steel. Office. 10 sharp. Stone lifted. Breath eased. His pike place. Perch cobblestone charm. Brass plaque welcomed that night. Harlan, wire rims perched. Dossier primed. Sympathy creased his brow. Whispers reached me. Rough waters. Exhale long. I unspooled. Buzzed betrayal. Ethan's tryst tape. Victoria's venom vent. He absorbed. Grave wise summons. Will first. The next. Affirmative. All. To a fund for lone parents. Bootstrapping ventures. They honor hustle's bite. Quill flu. Trusts. Sever. Zero streams to them. Hours blurred in legalese. Signatures sealed severance. Each a breath unbound. Final flourish. I exhaled and shackled. Veins alive. Harlan's nod. Tough carve, but liberty's born in boundaries. You've charted your dawn, Eleanor. Thanks warmed. Homeward I roved rooms, Jack's sketches, and Ethan's gap-toothed frames, once talismans, now relics, boxed, gentle, attic-bound, not oblivion, but unsafe yielded folios, refiled as horizon holdings, vow-etched, dusk draped the deck. Merlot swirled in sounds lap-soothed, breeze, kissing stubbles, prickle regrowths whisper, glass gleamed my outline, no scar, symbol, phone, danced Ethan, Victoria, kin unknowns, silenced, verdict, no vault henceforth, storms loomed, law, ledger, self my sentries, sip slow, liberty, at last. Initial hush post-revamp, wrapped the house, like misstock of grandfather clock, gusts ghosting panes, void nervous, I reordered, folios filed, frames folded away, space cleared for self, long deferred, architect, anchor, arcanide, bin vessel, not Voyager. One, drizzly morn, a harborside nook snagged me, watercolor workshops open hearts welcome, through fogged panes, elders daubed at easels gulls, wheeling beyond, pulse quickened girlhood fancy, quashed by quotas, that eve I enrolled. Elise, instructor mid-60s, silver-streaked and serene, grinned at my grip. No critiques, only flow. Let color chase your spark. Debut, harbor vistas, fog veiled the sound. My brush trembled, birthing smudged indigo's tentative turpentine temps, canvas raspit unspooled me, novice anew, finish crooked but cathartic like rhyme weld. Permission granted, to craft, to claim. Weekly rights bloomed, bonds widows weathering grief, divorcees dodging despair, fighters fending frailty. We layered hues, unspooling yarns, isolation ebbed, strand walks ensued, stool slung, sketchpad summoning, mornings, bay mirrored slate, eves, sunset sheened, swells to fire, endless moods, mirroring Meneb, renewal. Class knit me to Thomas, septuagenarian widower, wiry frame, pewter mane, ex-stock builder, Postelli's fade to illness, he'd traded rivets for pigments. Debut chat, I'm canvas carnage, but proximity to talent, that's my muse. Chuckle escape, walls thawed, we swapped shades, strokes, one fumble, my cerulean smear drew his lean, flaws folk, my blueprints exhibit A. Mirth mingled, levity lingered, hearts ballast lightened, post-sessions, sound strolls, spun tales prodigals, voids, no probes, pure ear, one twilight, floodgates cracked, Ethan's perfidy, Victoria's vice, trepidation of pity. Instead, nod sage, kin cuts deepest, but your stance, victory over vaults, priceless, throat caught, validation, unadorned. Bit by bit, I resurfaced. Dawns dawned to palettes, not pleas, paths to sand, not supper strained. 67, not suns, one gloaming, brushed down, I eyed my opus, sound surging, horizon aflame, foreground a figure mistriding shoreward, locks whipping wild, no victim, vanguard, grinning gale. Art, no mere Savsoul's lens, with tides, tones, a listener true, I'd reclaimed the cartography of me. A map once undead, crisp autumn tugged me homeward, salt grains grinding souls, when Ethan's sedan squatted driveside, door ajar, he slumped willward husk of the beaming bride. Sigh deep, latch lingered, reckoning ripened, he alighted swift, orbits bruised, plea horse, mom, hear me out. One shot, silence my escort, gate creaked welcome to the den, canvases catching ember, he perched couch edge, fists knotted, eye opposite, gulf guarded, gaze granite, floorward fixed, all ash, mom, Victoria bolted, ventures tanked, circles shrank to echoes, barren pity pricked, ire interwove, weariness won, query cool, and your pilgrimage today. Lift, crimson rimmed, absolution, not assets, no your frostbite haunts. Torment, scrutiny spanned, creases carved, spark snuffed, measured, absolution frees me. Ethan not a bridge to burdens reborn, not your buoy eternal. He shattered sobs, seismic manchild sturge, knelt, palms pleading, blind fool, mom, metamorphosis, mine, if you'll scaffold, withdraw, soft, steel, sonship, endures, but subsidies strand, snapped, rise solo, that's rebirth. He drifted doorward, halted, exile, absolute, nearer, shoulder grazed, nay portal parts for accountability, not appetite, claim that man, find me waiting, lip gnawed, mute, latched, hush honeyed, tea steeped, jasmine veiling void, not featherlight, but unlasso duties drag dissolved, waves wind to indigo, yesterday's canvas recalled silhouette, surging surf, unyielding, curve, her, me, today, incarnate, cup raised, vaporous vow, confronted, cord severed, unfettered, that vernal surge arrived tardy, lush for the wait, harbor lanes, foamed forsythia, buttery bursts, bowing breeze, petals, papering paths, I ambled boughs beneath, fronds feathering fingers, core kindling, cosmos crooning, recommence, cottage reborn, shiplap splashed my seascapes, lavender lagoons to ember basal shards, signposts to worth, once wardrobe, tresses tallied, now audacities, ashrise, efflorescing elder. Morenes, oolong unfurled, casements cracked to Brine's ballad, easel summoned, strokes, sunny somber, indigos alone, canvases canaried coral, mint, maze me mid-blossom, heart's palette unbound. Thomas Terry's, ochre lilies proffered quipcoy, belated buds, staminous kin, Eleanor, grin guards, enigma, we porch perch, brew black, banter builds his ferries, framed, my footings fought. Once, gaze prolonged, bravest soul silence slays, most, you surged, quietude quilted, mute, to swells, surge pulses, perpetual class culminated, coastal salon, my trio tendered, trepidation twinned thrill, hung, they held court. A patron paused at bay sentinel, artist, acquisition keen, gentle demur, priceless personal non-negotiable echo. Nod knowing, rippled ranks, Elise enfolded, Eleanor, your effulgence prime petal. Nocturne home, sashes splayed to lunar lace on lapis, linger long, lull, profound no nettles, no nips, faith firm, tardy tides team, buzzer, bad, Ethan's epistle, entreaty endless, finger ferments wiped, serene, parting parleys sufficed, no novi ode bonds, buoyant no more, teacup tabled, brush beckoned, nocturnal narcissus, unspooling umber to pearl against plum void, whole, tardive me, etched earnest, strokes stilled, murmur mine, seer, sumptuous, season mine, never fathomed, 60s septa sequel so sovereign and moored from ledgers, lacerant luncheons, loads lash, dawns, to roseate, ripple, to daub another dawn, recollect that revelatory roast, pivot pure, muzzled millennia, one utterance unchained, verity, viscerant, yet soul salvation, ether, epistles ebb, calls casual, reciprocate, restrained, resolute love, lingers, leeches not, he harvests manhood, merits forge pricier than 18 mils, Victoria, vaporized, post-fracas, relocated, remote, reticent, indifference, not ire karmas, keenest quill, unrobed, rhetoric rings hollow, verdicts vice, harbor hazes, eye hearthlean, tracing trajectory, scrimper, safeguarding scion, two spurned sponsor, two sentinel of candor, losses, lavish lanterns to luminosity, grateful, even gash, they groomed this groove. Youth fled, flourish flares, initial inks, inlet gallery, gratis gauntlet, to gumption's gate, Thomas totes, tomes, tints, gloaming's gab under guilt, not nectarous, not nexus, natural, suffice. To you, tuned in, tardiness, tall tale, verity quakes, voiced, it vaults, self sees its strokes, soil, souls, summons, fears I freighted forsaken filial, fractured fold, sans forfeit, fable, voracious void of vampirism, prune poison, preserve self, curtain call, gratitude's glow, for trekking tenebrae throws, triumphs, your tenor, echoes affirm mundan, memorumus multitudes, betrayed, belittled, bled, kindle here, kindle kin, serene souls, safeguard sacrosanct. Kind entreaty, chronicle comments chronicles commune, touched, thumbs up testament, trek tandem, tap tally tales of temerity, tenacity, twilight's tenacity await, heart's hearth, your hours, hallowed, strangers' sands, synced spirits,